Oh, you again. Well, at least you've hidden those bloody eyes of yours behind shades.
Don't worry. I know everything. I know you can't sleep anymore since you saw me that night underneath your bed. And you can't tell anyone. Someone who doesn't remember her own name and sees an invisible old man will end up in the madhouse.
You've trapped me. How can I get rid of this insomnia?
Your sleep is tied to mine. As long as I'm awake, you're awake. But worry not, a sailor who stared into the horizon so long that her eyes have turned into the color of the sunset can endure much more than this.
If it wasn't for this elephant that vanished one night from the zoo without a trace, maybe our town's name would have never gotten into the newspapers. There's nothing scarier in this world than a bald and blind doll. After breaking into the house, I'd better not touch anything before meeting the owner. The china reminds me of my grandmother's house. After breaking into the house, I'd better not touch anything before meeting the owner. Order is the only thing you can't see in how this place is organized. They must have been a rich family to have their portraits painted. Snow in a war zone. What else could go wrong? I love the feel of this painting. Hi, hope I'm not intruding. The door was open. I was wondering if...
Of course, come in, my dear. But of course you're not intruding. After all, we know each other.
We do? Oh yes, you own the restaurant on 20th Street.
Yes, that's right. I lived a very different life back then. Did you know that I employed over 30 people in that restaurant? And I only ever met 2 of them? The young man I made manager, and...
Me? Wow. Yeah, I remember. Actually, I remember the day I met you out. It was my 20th birthday. So it was 5 years, 4 months, and 2 days ago.
25. Wonderful. I remember you didn't want to get any smarter.
You still have a good memory. Intelligence was the only thing I was sure of in myself back then.
I knew you were very smart from the first moment I saw you at the door holding a tray. I'd like to test you. May I?
Sure. I'm curious how I'd score. It's been a while since I had to be smart.
When I retired, I picked up this hobby of connecting things together and making strange stuff. See this noisy TV? With a secret code, you can connect it to the global TV network of 100 years ago.
Are you kidding? There was no TV 100 years ago.
Don't doubt an old man who's got a death ticket in his hand. TV or not, the waves are still floating in the air.
Maybe you're right. Let me have a closer look at your inventions.
Still trying to get rid of me?
A good sleep is what I've needed for days now. So, yes, I will find a way. All that these cats see from up on the roof. I think many people would like to have a tanuki as their town symbol. All God's children should be able to play by the sea. Hi, Marta. Are you still looking for your cat?
I can't take this anymore. How can a cat go straight up a tree and never come down?
He must have come down when you weren't looking.
No way. I waited under that tree for hours. I was dizzy for days. I looked up at it so long.
A cat can disappear in a blink of an eye, especially male cats who forget their owners this time of year. But he'll be back.
My cat wasn't like that. He'd never go more than 100 yards from here. Also, how would he get out with that dog guarding the end of the alley?
I walk these streets a lot. If I see him, I'll bring him back.
That would be so kind of you. I hope you find your name soon, too. I have heard a lot about your ordeal.
Yeah, thanks. No one was supposed to know about my problem. I know who's been talking. If my name is Scared of Dogs like I am, it wouldn't have escaped that way. All that these cats see from up on the roof. By the way, I've been meaning to ask you something. I just remembered as I saw the closed doors of the movie theater.
What is it? I hope you're not adding something new to my responsibilities.
Why did you stop the weekly film screenings there?
Because we couldn't get the money to buy a new player. Also, the neighbors aren't very sociable. It's hard to get them all together at the same time.
I remember you had a collection of the best 35mm films. Let's set it up again. I love old technology.
A friend of mine borrowed them and never gave them back. It ruined our friendship.
Why don't you go to his house and ask for your films?
I'm over it now. No time for old films. But if you want them so much, why don't you go yourself? Take this road straight up until you get to the square. His house is one of the first houses. It's got a blue door and there's a large sign hanging on its wall.
Even if I knew the lady behind this door. Don't want to talk to me? Don't be scared. I live in this building.
I can't talk to you because you don't have children.
Hi, Miso. Nice to see you come and not making noise. Don't worry. Erica will return in a few days and we'll take you back home. Sorry I couldn't spend enough time with you. Hey! What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to stay in the inventory? Stay still. Why did Jack close up this place for good? What's even more odd is that none of us ever tried to find out why. Why did Jack close up this place for good? What's even...
Have you seen my cat anywhere?
Not yet. I'm sure he'd come to me if he sees me, though. All that these cats see from up on the roof. I think many people would like to have a tanuki as their town symbol. All God's children should be able to play by the sea.
Still trying to get rid of me?
A good sleep is what I've needed for days now. So, yes, I will find a way. If it wasn't for this elephant that vanished one night from the zoo without a trace, maybe our town's name would have never gotten into the newspapers. The china reminds me of my grandmother. Glad to see these things still exist in the world. I wish there was a black monster puppet too. Order is the only thing you can't see in how this place is organized. Order is... Glad to see these...
Come on, girl. Don't you want to see what people used to watch 100 years ago?
If this wasn't about testing my own abilities, I would have given up by now. Doesn't seem very logical. Maybe I would have done it the old days.
Have you seen my cat anywhere?
Not yet. I'm sure he'd come to me if he sees me, though. Some people get lucky and make it, but I'm not one of them. If my name is scared of dogs like I am, it wouldn't have escaped that way. I prefer to keep it for myself. I prefer to keep it for myself. There's nothing scarier in this room. can form some words from the letters on the box. The solution is on the bookshelf? What should I be looking for on the bookshelf? Come to think of it, the bookshelf also forms a 4x4 grid.
Still trying to...
A good sleep